Hello. Hello.
Hello, Jeffrey.
How are you?
Doing quite well.
Is it only just
Hi.
you and me? Yeah. Yeah, Mario's having trouble getting in, so I don't know if he'll make it. I think Ralph has to send him a new link. Something's not letting him in. I'm going to try to reach out now.
I just sent it now. This is why
Okay.
I need everyone to try and log in earlier for these issues.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I didn't have trouble. The only first time when it was whatever, however you sent it, that was the problem, not anything I.
Just give me 1 second. I'm waiting to see if we're live. I haven't heard from Revere TV. Good evening. Welcome to the April 9th Revere Commission on Disabilities meeting. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties. This is why it's very important for us members to please sign in early so that we can have this done before we go on the meeting, because once I'm on the meeting, it's very difficult for me to resend things out. If we could start by I'm going to have my little trusty flag here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pauline, if you could do the roll call of the members.
Absolutely. So Ralph DeChico,
Present.
Pauline Perno is present. Jason Barone,
Present.
Mario Gramanis, still waiting, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And Ellie Vargas.
Present.
Okay.
Oh. Mario keeps texting me. Unfortunately, there's nothing that I can do now. I emailed it to him. He's got to look in the emails. It's there. So if somebody wants to reach out to him, I have to run the meeting now. So my apologies. Item number 1 is a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the March 12th, 2024 meeting.
I'll approve.
Yeah. Seconded.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And item number 2 is introduction for a new Commission on Disabilities member, Anne Marie Fiore. So we wanted to welcome Anne Marie Fiore, so you can see why we have technical difficulties. And this is why, like I said, it's very important that we try and sign in early. I turned this link on at 5:30. So once it's on, I'm at the mercy of not being able to send anything out, because I'll have to pop back out of the meeting and then Revere TV will lose the feed. So, Emery, welcome. And if you wanted to introduce yourself, the floor is all yours.
Sure. Thank you, Ralph. So it's nice to meet everybody. My name is Anne Marie Fiore. I am a lifelong Revere resident. I was raised in Beachmont and I lived there for about 35 years until I was married, and I moved a little bit further down the beach to Oak Island, where I live now with my husband and our 2 children. But being raised in Beachmont and growing up, I came from a pretty small family. It was just my brother and I and my mom and my dad. But I was also raised in a home with my grandmother and my Aunt Carol. And my Aunt Carol was mentally and physically disabled due to an injury she sustained at birth. And at that time, the recommendation to my grandmother was that she should just be put in a home because she would never walk, she would never talk, and my grandmother wouldn't be able to care for her basically. But my grandmother didn't do that. She took her home, she raised her. My aunt did walk, she did talk, but she was mentally and physically disabled her whole life. And we cared for her up until she passed away about 7 years ago. At the age of 19, I became one of her legal guardians because my mom was afraid that if something should happen to her, she would kind of get lost into the system. So at 19, I became one of her legal guardians. And then in my early 20s, I became one of her primary caretakers up until she passed away about 7 years ago. So for as long as I can remember, I had a family member who was mentally and physically disabled, and I cared for her day to day. I saw that the city was looking to fill a lot of positions for the boards and commissions, and I wanted to get involved. And the only place I could really see myself was actually on the Commission of Disabilities, just because my aunt did have such a big impact on me and who I am as a person today. So that's kind of, my background a little bit and why I wanted to get involved. Just kind of coming from a place of a family member of a disabled person. So I hope to help in any small way I can, and I look forward to working with everybody here.
Thank you. Glad to have you.
Yes,
Glad to have
welcome.
you. Welcome.
Thank you.
I am going to go on to item number 3. I'm sure everybody, actually, hopefully everybody got the agenda that I had sent out. I forgot to ask that at the beginning. So I get sidetracked when there's technical difficulties a little bit. So I sent out the agenda to everyone. So item number 3 is updates and next steps from our March 12th, 2024 meeting. The first thing that carried over was updates from Pauline regarding calendar for future monthly guest speakers.
Well, unfortunately, I have had 0 responses, and I've reached out repeatedly to a couple of different places. However, today I made contact with an organization that's fairly new. It was started in 2019. And I'm waiting for a call back from one of its founders. I did talk to a young woman who is a co-rep, and she is also a coach and I believe that they do go by trainers for um, kids, and actually not just children, but anybody. It's for different abilities, for getting them involved in any kind of activity and exercise program, regimented exercise program. So they are not just getting sporadic here and there. It's on a continuum. So it's like a gym that is actually tailored to people with alternative abilities. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. And the woman was extremely excited that I reached out, and I saw this on Facebook as I scrolled. So I am waiting for a call back, and I did give her the May um, date for our next meeting. So hopefully I will have that as a quick update as soon as I'm touch base with them. So I'm excited about it. I think it's something that would really benefit a lot of people to hear about, listen about, and maybe something that we can spin off. So
No,
that's
perfect. That's perfect. And we make our meetings so easy for any organization or anybody to come to. They don't have to go in person. And it's via Zoom. So it's just sometimes, I don't want to say it's frustrating, but it's disappointing when, we out you spend all the time outreaching to them, and if they don't get back to us, either way, if they can or they can't, because this is beneficial for the residents of Revere, the families, not only the residents disabled, but the families that have family members that are disabled, because this is the way that we can bring resources and information to them. So it's a great avenue for these organizations and departments and whatnot to be able to reach out to them. I guess we can only do our part. But anybody knows anyone that wants to come present, please email me, and I'll get the information to Pauline, and Pauline will do the outreach to them to try and coordinate for one of our upcoming meetings. Because like I said, it's very beneficial for not only the organization, but for our residents and families. Item number 2, stated if there's any grant update, any updates regarding the Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, Better Beach program. And I got good news. I was awarded the grant. Within that grant, I did not get all the money that I asked for. I didn't ask for too much, but I did get a little bit less. So with this grant, what I am going to be doing is scheduling an All Abilities Beach Day at Revere Beach. And I've talked to the accessibilities program for DCR. And I've also spoken to an agency called Triangle Inc. They run a program, an All Abilities Beach Day program at Constitution Beach in East Boston. They've run it for the past several years. They're not going to be able to run the program at Revere Beach, but I am picking their brains, and they're helping me be able to run a similar program in Revere. So what will happen is DCR will bring us the adaptable beach sand wheelchairs, beach sand mats, so that people with mobility issues will be able to get from the top of the sand all the way down to the water. So in the planning stages now, I had a hour and a half Zoom meeting today with both DCR and Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, about the process of filling out the permit for DCR and different intricacies about that. There's a lot of paperwork now that I have to fill out, even though that I did get the grant, but there's a lot more paperwork that I have to fill out. So I'm in the process of doing that. And what I am trying to do is coordinate Revere Parks and Recs to be able to supply us with some of their staff and youth staff to help us on that date, to help facilitate some of the needs that we need some people to assist us with that. There'll be a pre-registration for it, and I'm trying to do a few other things. The stepping stone that I had right now is with some food issues that DCR wants only certain things to happen. So I'm going to have a couple of more meetings with them about that. And what I'm looking to do is, since Triangle Inc. has this event, they have theirs scheduled for August 10th, which is a Saturday. So I'm trying to make it a lot easier for the DCR Adaptive Accessibility Program Department, that they bring a trailer down filled with all this beach accessibility equipment. So instead of them having to bring that trailer, because I'm not sure where it's actually located, the gentleman that I talked to from that program is basically in Western Mass. So instead of them having to take that trailer down and bringing it back out west or wherever they bring it, then have to bring it back, I'm trying to see about planning hours for the following weekend. But logistically, I have to see if that works with the availability of Parks and Rec staff and whatnot. So I sent out a few emails today. So more information to follow on that. So that was good news. It was a little bit less money, but I think I should still be able to get done what I need to get done. So that was good news. And also on the other grant front, I am still working on the George V. Colella Community Center. I just sent in a purchase order to a company to come in, do some maintenance on the accessible chair for the pool, with some parts that are needed for it. We have the architect that is drawing up some plans for hopefully some new restrooms and some more accessibility in that building. for that, but this is just the preliminary, just the drawings and the plans. And then we have to sit down with the school department first to see if this is fine with them. And then what we will do, the next stage for next year, we will apply for another grant to see about getting some of that work done, to try and put another family restroom in the pool area, and then possibly another family restroom down by, if anybody knows about the community center in the Garfield School, down by the gymnasium slash auditorium area. There's just a male and female bathroom, and we want to just put like a family, one family restroom in there for parents that have young children, or parents that have children with disabilities that are of different gender, so they'll feel more comfortable and not have to go into one of the restrooms that have older children or adults in them. So working on that. So there's a lot going on right now, that we're trying to get done, but it's work in progress, and it's going the correct way. So if anybody has any questions on any of that, but it just as a dollar figure, I believe I had applied for $5,500. We were awarded $3,500, which is fine. It should still be okay, because I may be able to find some more money if needed for somewhere else. So it should be a fun day. It'll be the first annual, and my game plan is to have All Abilities Beach Day at Revere Beach every year. So this would be the first one. So we would call it annual, and we'll have the first annual, and then we try and do it for every year. So it's still in the planning stages, but we got the grant, and I just got to fill out for the permits, see if the date is available for DCR and also for staff and youth workers from Parks and Recs. And then we'll go from there, and I'll keep everybody updated on that.
Excellent.
Okay. Item number 4 is CODA's, the Commission on Disabilities Alliance monthly Zoom meeting, which happened last Wednesday, April 3rd. The Melrose COD Commission member discussed conversations she has been having with Representative Catherine Clark's office regarding the disability inclusion programs. This is a program that has been in existence in the Newton School District for 45 years. She would like to see it not only in Melrose, where she's from, but also have other city and town CODs help bring this to their school district. She will also be having continued conversations with Catherine Clark's office along with the state DOE. Unfortunately, during this conversation, we were also told during the meeting from a Newton COD member that Newton just dropped the program, and they're very upset with the decision. The school department has done something internally now, away from that. I'm not sure if any members on here know anything about that disability inclusion program, but from what the discussions we had at the meeting, they were saying it's just such a great program that's run. And I don't know if anybody knew about it. I wanted to look into it, but they will keep us up to date on any information regarding those types of programs. And it's not a curriculum that the school has to run. It's something that's just offered as extra. And I don't believe it was a cost to the schools. I think there's a grant that is applied for. That's why they have Catherine Clark's office involved in it.
Why did they drop the program? Do we know why?
The Newton COD member just said that they were very upset with the decision, and it was just decided that they wanted to do some other type of program internally.
Seems a little selfish after 45 years.
Yeah.
Why can't we add new programs? Why are we going to take things away?
Exactly.
Why can't we continue? Because now that cuts off the people that might have been looking for that.
Yeah.
I think truth of the matter, everything, and I don't care what anybody says, comes down to money. Let's be honest. You're talking about, I see it here in Quincy. The mayor's getting paid up the wazoo to build new buildings. You know what I mean? There's a reason you do something. You don't do something that kind of hard. I'm sorry, just that's pretty obvious. you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Hopefully
watching.
they'll replace it with something else. Cannot have it.
Well,
Yeah,
they can
they
do
re-
whatever they want. They
Yeah, they
unfortunately.
replace it. Hopefully they'll update us at the next meeting and any more information on it. And that once I get information like that, I'll pass it. But from what I've been told, if you just Google a disability inclusion program, there's a website on it and about the program. Also, DPC mentioned that continue the advocacy at the State House regarding the opposition to proposed cuts to the line item in the state budget for PCAs. And they're keeping that fight going aggressively and making some headway. Whether
They
that
need to
comes,
do more than that, Ralph. I mean, being
Yeah.
honest. I mean, it goes beyond that because it now gets into. I don't think anyone is aware. So they now started, and this is Mass Health that's starting this garbage. It's you have to do timesheets for your PCA worker. So but it's all electronic garbage, no more paperwork where she could drop it off, let's say, at Tempest
Right.
office. And it's really more complex for the person that needs the care. I mean, this is something that the consumer shouldn't have to deal with. This
Right.
is something Mass Health wants to take on, fine, but you need to figure out a way to not include us in it. The problem is they act like it's our business, and the problem is they don't do the real help that they're supposed to do. Tempest claims they do everything, including background checks. I don't know if that's not even true.
Right.
So, really, if your person
Sadly, Jason, is this program has been activated or what is it?
it's a requirement, so you would have gotten
Yeah, but
notice.
since 2016 nationwide, and we've been trying to push it back in Massachusetts for the last couple of years, and now they're forcing everyone to use EBV verification. And also, I was
okay.
supposed to be at the State House today, but I have two broken wheelchairs. They gave me a loaner, and that was broken. I was supposed to do public disobedience at the State House at 5 p.m., but I have a wheelchair, and they're passing the restriction by tomorrow. So I would say everyone call your governor's office and say stop the PCA cuts. Because if they push now, they're just going to keep on doing cuts on the PCA program. And from what I hear through the grapevines, they might start putting corporate interest to run the program. So
Well,
there's
that's
a
a
lot
problem.
of
That's a
going
problem.
on
We already,
for the
yeah.
PCA program. But that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Of course
So
they
this
would.
has been mandated. So it's been mandated nationwide since 2016, but Massachusetts has been pushing back on it.
And now they want everyone to do EVV. Only people that don't is if you live with the PCA. So if it's a parent or a legal
Legal
guardian,
guardian.
yeah. But if it's your spouse, they're reducting
Right.
a lot of your hours. So it's
Right.
a huge bloody
Wow.
mess. So
Correct.
it is.
Correct. They really want to get into. I think it's more work than it's worth, and it's more hassle for those with disabilities. It's not very
Also,
accessible.
they don't do a yearly evaluation either. They want to knock that out too.
So
They're not
so
doing-
they don't want it. So they don't want to do a yearly evaluation. Do they want to get
Yeah,
rid of it? Or do they want,
because they don't want to pay for it.
so they won't
There's
have an
not enough-
evaluation at all?
I have no idea. I was supposed to do a reevaluation. They contact me in the beginning of the year, and now no contact whatsoever. And I've been on the program since they convinced my parents in like 05. And I tell anyone, if you have an agency, stay with an agency. Do not go with Tempest Unlimited. It's so bad and convoluted. You don't have no backup. You don't have anyone. You're literally on the mercy. If you have no friends or family, you're in the mercy of total
Well,
strangers.
all the agencies are bad unless you can get an agency that actually has workers. None of
Yeah,
them.
I
cover
know.
that.
I'm just saying, as a person who uses Tempest Unlimited, I have
Yeah.
absolutely no backup. So if my mom needs to go to another state to take care of a family member, I
You
have
have
to
no
go
way.
with her no matter. Yeah, I have no ifs or buts. So that's the pickle going on, and I've been actively looking at Rewarding Works and also PCA directory. And even now, there's people that are on the offense list, people that are offenders and people that did crimes, and they're working as PCAs. So
Right.
that's here and there.
Scary.
It's very scary.
There's-
That's too bad. They make they all they want to do is make cuts, but they don't want to make cuts. They want to make cuts in the wrong places.
Why don't we cut some of those CEO people and some of the fat cats? Because that's pretty much where things are at. They're doing
Yeah.
the same stuff here at my assisted living. So they cut
Yeah.
hours at the wazoo. We have more people leadership wise than people doing the work, and we just got
Right.
more complicated cases. Believe it
Yeah.
or not, one of the people in here, they have to feed them and clean them up. You got another one that needs even more work. We don't have enough staff to support it. One of my aides today was sitting there for she was involved with somebody else for over an hour. The problem is this is corporate interest, and as soon as they start, that's why as soon as Ellie brought that up, I'm like, no, that's not going to work, because as soon as they do that, and they do it with nursing homes and hospitals now, as soon
Yeah.
as they do that, we're all done. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's just a big business.
yep, that's all it's care about, and they're going to cut
Yeah.
everything, and then you and I and the family members around us are going to suffer for it. So
Yeah.
that
unfortunate.
makes it the least amount of country. I know people say we're the best country in the world, but if it were true, we wouldn't be having some of these issues. I mean, people don't look at Sweden and Switzerland that do a lot more for the people with disabilities, including those with mental disabilities.
Right.
Things are done so the parents don't have to worry if they die. I
Yeah.
mean, the reality is this country is very selfish because we're helping people, and I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm just being realistic. We're helping people come from another country to get housing when people here don't even have what they need. You got vets sitting on the street. You got people that are mentally ill that don't have any help. And so it's something's got to give here. And sometimes it's got to be calling stuff out on the carpet. And a lot of people are afraid to do it. These people.
Not Jason. All right. The third item that I have from CODA was the COD commission members mentioned opportunities regarding the GoPen Fellowship. This is a program that you can apply for through the Massachusetts Disability Council. The GoPen Fellowship is a one-year part-time work and learning opportunity for an individual with a developmental disability. And I also, in the meeting notes, I added there's a link to find out more information about the application process. I'm not sure if Ellie, if you know anything about that, because you're involved in a lot of stuff. So I don't even know if you ever heard of the GoPen Foundation, but that might be something for you to look into.
Yeah, if you send me a link, I'll do research
Yeah, it's
on
right.
it.
It's right in the meeting notes.
Okay, I'll have to reread it and check it
Yeah,
out.
and if not, it's on the city's. It'll be on the Commission of Disabilities page under agenda and on the city thing. They'll link right to how to apply for a GoPen Fellowship.
Okay, I'll definitely look it up.
Yeah. So I figured I wanted to put that information on there. Item number 5 was the CPAC March and April events that was provided to us by Julie Brown, who's the president of the CPAC. CPAC's next meeting is going to be Thursday, May 30th. CPAC is going to meet in person with a Zoom link agenda option. The agenda will come out at the beginning of May. This will be the last in-person event of the year. They're looking for any and all interested parties to join them, either as board members or volunteers or overall support. Anyone interested in getting more involved in CPAC Revere can send them an email at cpacrevere@gmail.com, or they can call Julie Brown at 617-817-2653. Also, CPACs also will be hosting 2 free virtual workshops for parents and professional events via Zoom by the Federation for Children with Special Needs, with Spanish translation available in person at Revere High School. More information on what's going to follow on how they're going to have that Spanish translation in person at Revere High School. They weren't sure logistically how they're going to do that, since this is going to be a Zoom meeting. So they're going to have somebody in person there that will be able to do that. And hold on one second. Sorry about that. That one is going to be Thursday, April 25th from 6 to 8 p.m. And the topics on that is going to be basic rights, understanding the IEP. And for more information, the registration link is in our meeting agenda. And the second one is going to be Wednesday, May 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. And the topic on that is bullying, what parents need to know. And for more information, I also included the link for that one in the agenda. So if there's any questions or concerns on that, they're also through the schools, they're giving out the flyers. But if anybody wants any more information on the flyers, I do also, they sent them to me. So anybody can feel free to reach out to me at the Commission on Disabilities via email, and I could also send them the flyer, email them the flyers. Item number 6 is if any commission member has any late items or any other information they would like to share.
I have one thing I want to share is equipment. I don't know if anyone heard of that, but it's a great place if you need any type of equipment. Right now they have a lot of wheelchairs, wheelchair equipment, hoil lifts, stuff like that. I learned now I should have definitely at least 2 wheelchairs because if one breaks, you definitely are out of luck, and it takes months now, even years, to get your chair repaired. So if you need any equipment, RE equipment.
Ellie, where is that located?
I
Local.
mean, they go everywhere.
Yeah, they deliver.
Yeah.
Don't they deliver the equipment to you, correct?
As
Yep.
well?
Yep. $20 for delivery fee, and you could donate upwards. I got in manual wheelchairs. I got power wheelchair. I'm waiting for one that I recently got because I was supposed to get another wheelchair from a guy who gets wheelchairs from a bunch of people, and I've been waiting for that. So took the bullet and picked the wheelchair. And once you pick a wheelchair, they give you a ID number, then they give you a form to sign. Once they send the form, someone will call you to set up the payment, or you pay in a check format when the person delivers it to you. I recommend to everyone right now they have an overstock. So there's a lot of good wheelchairs, even kid-sized wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, manual wheelchairs, equipment for bed, hoil lift, stuff like that.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
the other agency too that has it is the Masons, which is a hospital equipment loan program, and they are out of Woburn. And I have their information on the disabilities website. They're also free. They do not offer delivery though, and they're only open on Saturdays, and the equipment is all free there also. And they have all kinds of equipment, not only equipment, they have raised recliner chairs. They used to have beds. They have a lot of equipment, but the only difference with them and Requip is you have to pick it up yourself. And then if it's something that you need temporarily, you just return it whenever you don't need it anymore. And they also, well, with COVID, things changed, but I believe they still may take donations of certain items.
Hey.
All right. Anyone else have any other late items?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if anyone saw on the news the thing that they were creating for blind individuals and visually impaired individuals about walking across the street, and it was actually students in Massachusetts who created that function to be able to tell when to cross and things like that. And it gives sounds on the phone, believe it or not. That's what it looked like based on the way we saw that, my wife and I. So something that they might want to research, and the governor actually recognized it because they got an award for it. And I believe it was in Worcester area, I believe, that got it. So it was kind of neat.
Was that recently?
Yeah, that was
any
recent.
other information on it?
No, I don't have any information on it. Just it was recently on the news, not that long ago. Within the last.
In case your wife finds it, if you find any information, just shoot me an email with it.
Okay, cool,
And then,
we'll do.
and then I can do some more research on it and let everyone know about it.
Yeah, cool.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Pretty cool.
Anyone else? Pauline, you have anything?
No, just a reminder that and going walking along the beach, just be real careful because we've got that narrowed passageway where they've had the road shift and they've got temporary barrels up on crosswalks, and it's just kind of a disaster down there. So just heads up, be extra vigilant. There's no parking, so if you are walking, just make sure that you are completely and totally visible. I don't know if you have to wave a flag or whatever to cross the street nowadays, but we're getting to that level of vigilance when trying to get from one side to the other. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, well, it's getting worse. I mean, you saw the person on, I assume, on the news that was hit. So, and she wasn't even doing anything. She was just, person that was part of road rage. There was two other people that got fighting, and she had nothing to do with it. They turned around and they hit her and killed her.
I know. I saw that was a sin.
Yeah, and then the little girl too on top of that in the sequel.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, cars are the problem. I mean, people still until they get it. I mean, somebody's going to have to take some penalties. Really going to scare people. I don't know what else to say. I'm sick of drivers. I've had it, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I think people who drive are very selfish because they don't look at it.
Said a lot of it. Sorry if you lose me because the planes are going overhead. I think a lot of it has to do with the hurry there yesterday mentality. I mean, everybody's in a rush to get somewhere. It seems that there's more distractions out on the roads now than, I mean, I've been driving for almost 50 years, 48 years. And I've just the change because of the population, because of traffic, because of building and construction. I think that we're seeing a lot more people on the road. The stuff with the T being so inaccessible right now, we won't even go there. But a lot of people are driving, and they're driving through Revere to get to their destinations. And so you're doubling up on traffic that way. And I see more people doing makeup, more people eating breakfast while they're driving. I've seen eyelashes being curled. I personally wouldn't do that. I did it once when I was younger and I learned my lesson. But I think that we all have to it's a hypervigilance, and it has to be on both the pedestrians, and it's not totally on them, and it has to be on the people that are driving and who are parking and are pulling out and doing deliveries. Amazon cut me off today. So I think it goes all around. I think everyone has to just take a step back and take a breath before something.
Speaking about that, I actually was at an RTAG meeting 2 weeks ago, and there was a big discussion, two discussions. One about MBTA buses not pulling to curbs.
They're brutal.
When they can, and also secondly, to vehicles parking too close to bus stops and crosswalks. And they were trying to pass some legislation now that will be so that they'll be able to enforce it more. And the talk was that they cannot just rely on the local police to do that. They also need to have their MBTA police enforcing and patrolling that for the cars parking in the bus stops. They're not even supposed to be idling there. That's why the bus stops are big enough for the buses to pull it into the curb, and the bus stops are supposed to pull to the curb so that the staircases can lower, especially for people with disabilities.
Right.
There was a lot of people complaining about that at the RTAG meeting that I was at. These bus drivers are supposed to be trained that they're supposed to be pulling to the curb, and it's not that they're not pulling to the curb when they can't get there. They can get there and they're not. They're staying into the street because they don't want to take the time to pull in and pull out because they don't want to have to go in and out of traffic. So that's a big concern that some people were having with that. It was more towards the opposite side of the Tobin. It wasn't on this really. There wasn't people complaining on this side of the Tobin Bridge, but it was mostly towards the other side of Boston. A lot of people were complaining about that. But we do know on this side of the area, not only for bus stops, but we do have a lot of people that are encroaching on the crosswalks and encroaching in the bus stops. Whether they're sitting in their car and waiting for someone, that's a no-no. Same thing with people parking in handicap spots, sitting in there that don't need to be there, or in the ladder spots. That ladder spot is not for you to sit there and wait, and it's not an extra handicap spot. That is for a van accessible vehicles that can put a lift down, or a van. That's what it's there for. You know how many people were saying that when they pull in with their van, they have a lift and they can't get out, and the sentiment was, put your lift down on top of their car. They'll see they'll never park there again. Scratch up their car. But for people to park in those, it's just ignorance. That spot is crossed off for a reason. It's not to make it extra wide. It's not to put shopping carriages in. It's not for you to sit there and wait for somebody. So stop parking in there. And pretty soon, hopefully I will be starting to be able to, with some funds, be able to hire parking officers to go around and patrolling and giving tickets for that.
Well, good. I mean, to piggyback on all of that, I mean, you have the first thing on the driving side. The difference is, I know what she's saying, that yes, pedestrians need to be mindful, but you have been given as a license and given a privilege, something that someone else is not going to have. You are driving a 3,000 to 5,000 pound missile or greater. So it is on the person that has that license to be doing their job. Otherwise, they should sit in prison for 15 years plus if they're going to kill somebody or injure them to the point that they can't survive. Because that's unfair. You've been given a privilege, and no one is forgetting that. It is not a it is not a right. It is a privilege to have that. You are only entitled to identification, and we need to remember that. The second part on all of that, no one should be parking in any places, and the bus drivers need to get off their butts and do it. There's no reason for that. I agree. It shouldn't be just on the local police. It should be the state police also assisting, because the MBTA police don't really have that many. About 300 officers for the entire system, including for the commuter rail, believe it or not. That's a lot. That's not much to cover, really, an entire system like that, because they have to patrol the whole thing. So I think they need a little more than that, and they're just not giving it to them. You know, maybe they need to start utilizing the state troopers more for some of that to assist, because crime is really becoming a problem. Parking is becoming a problem. The T isn't becoming very comfortable. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I mean, better than New York, although New York used to have crime with their subway too. So
correct.
At least we're not
You look
New
like
York.
you want
We
to
don't
say
have
something
the-
on it.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying, at least we're not New York. We don't have the Navy Coast Guard, you know what I mean? But we definitely need more rent-a-cops, more transit cops, or even local cops, because like Pauline said a second ago, there's just not enough cops in these construction areas, and streets are getting tight. And literally, for example, I live right next to Peter's Roast Beef used to be. Sidewalk, they did not put enough cement, so I have to literally wait till the red line hits, go skid between the wedge of the cars, and hope the cars let me wedge through because I can't go on the sidewalk.
I know.
So like, yeah,
That's a nightmare. It is.
I agree with everyone. We need more hires. I don't care if it's like someone that's not a cop that have to give tickets. Hire them, please. It's necessary. We don't need violent deaths because some dum-dum not driving correctly.
Yeah, I like that.
Anne Marie's sitting back being quiet watching all this tonight.
I'm just excuse my silence. I'm just taking it all in for the first time so I can be
Yeah.
well prepared for the next time.
No problem. No problem. Hopefully we're
I
not
sent
sending
you
off.
I sent you a text, Ralph, with info.
Hopefully,
That my wife sent me. So hopefully you got it. So that you could have it, and then you can do what you need to do. But I just wanted you to at least have it. And I appreciate that you're listening, Anne Marie. And Anne Marie doesn't know that I work for the state. Since I'm in full disclosure, that's why I made the statement that I did about driving is a privilege, not a right. So
Yeah,
No
we're-
worries.
I'm a state employee. Fortunately, I still have to say I work for the state.
All right.
How did
Like,
Any
yeah, I
other?
mean, I could have went on a PCA rant for an hour, you know, given the history I have with it. So maybe that will be for another day, but yeah.
Appreciate that. I mean, I know someone who actually has been advocating, and I met her through starting the program myself. My mom talked to one of the ladies that used to work for where I'm living now in assisted living, and she was a private aide, and her niece went to Perkins and is disabled all the way through. And so we talked about it quite a bit. So it was, you know, been quite an interesting ride and what we find out. Better than most states, I'll say that. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
Illinois.
sure we'll get a continued conversation, hopefully.
Illinois is the only one behind, you know, ahead of us, which is they started in the late 90s with assisted living payments instead of PCA or nursing home care. So we should be taking a lesson for some of that, I think. But, you know, who knows? I don't know if Mass Health will ever get its act together because there's so many things covered under it. It's a mess. I don't know. Something's got to be changed somewhere because the people that really need the care are kind of taking a back seat sometimes. So,
Agreed.
Next is item number 7, residents' concerns and issues. I did not receive any correspondence from residents for me to bring up anything or any residents wanting to come in and discuss anything. Just make sure there's nobody looking to speak. Item number 8 is the next steps. The next steps, as always, is just we'll see for a calendar invite. And as always, if any member wants anything added to the agenda, the email that I send out the week or two before, just let me know and we'll always add it to the agenda. Item number 9 is the monthly reminder. Pauline, if you would mind reading that.
Absolutely. The Commission on Disabilities office number is 781-286-8267. Residents can also call Revere 311 directly and speak to the staff Monday through Friday. They will answer most questions, but if they are unable to, or if you want to speak to our department directly or schedule an appointment, please ask to be transferred to the disability office. If we are unavailable, please leave a detailed message and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. As always, please tell us if you want something discussed or added to our monthly meeting agenda. You can let us know if you would like to speak on any issue or concern. The commission is here to help and assist all the disabled residents and families of Revere.
Okay. Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, our next meeting via Zoom is going to be Tuesday, May 14th at 6 p.m. And just as a matter of housekeeping, before we actually, we may have stopped live streaming last month before we actually officially made the motion to adjourn and second it, but we did have that before we officially stopped our meeting, which was made to adjourn by our notes. It was made by Pauline and Jason, I believe. So I just wanted to put that on the record. Even though we may have been not streaming, we did make a motion to adjourn. So if I can have a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Made by
I
Jason
second that.
and second by Ellie. All right. Well, I appreciate it and thank you and enjoy the rest of April. Let's hope that the weather starts getting better because so far it's been terrible. March was terrible. The beginning of April was terrible. So let's hope it starts warming up. But thank you again and have a good night.
Good night, all.
Take care, everyone.
Everybody.
Bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.